Hello, good morning, everybody. This is Jason Dulai, and I'm here bringing you your live at WAP session for this week. First of all, let me make sure that I share this with the Work at Home Pinoy's Facebook group because this is currently on the Work from Home Roadmap page. Just give me a few moments here. And let me hit the share button. Okay, loading. Let me share this in the group. And we should be good to go. How to stay motivated. So today we're answering the question, how to stay motivated even though you get rejected. And a couple of weeks ago, I asked the Facebook group about topics that they wanted to hear, and this was one of the most upvoted topics. So we're going to talk about that today. So good morning, Mitch. Good morning, everybody. If you want to say good morning, just comment below in the WFHR page, and we'll also be doing a Q&A, question and answer portion afterwards. So please feel free to ask your questions, and I will address them later after we have this short discussion. So discussion, we have like a 15-minute discussion and a 15-minute Q&A afterwards. For those of you that are new here, if you're new here, if you don't know anything about freelancing, if you want to start learning how to work from home, we have that link down at the bottom of the screen. Just visit freevacourse.com. And lastly, later today, we have a meetup in Cebu. So all the Cebuanos out there, I should see you later in Ayala Center, 4th floor Coffee Bean at 1 p.m. Hope to see you there. All right, so on to our topic. Good morning, Ria, LJ, Leah, and Maria. Good morning, everybody. So on to our topic, how to stay motivated even though you get rejected. And this is something that's common to everybody, right? You know, we always have that period of time where we don't feel motivated, especially when we get rejected. Like we're applying to jobs on Upwork, and we get decline after decline. Clients don't reply to us, or even not just in Upwork, but even if you apply to jobs in real life, or you apply for a promotion and you don't get what you're trying to get, right? And that doesn't just apply in work, it can apply in regular life where, you know, we try to do workouts, we try to exercise, and then sometimes you just feel demotivated, especially if you don't see the muscles, if you don't see the six-pack, if you don't see the beach body ready. You say, what's the point, right? It feels, you get depressed, you get demotivated, and you don't want to do things anymore. You don't want to try anymore. You don't want to apply to jobs. You don't want to try to work out. You don't want to even do your work. Like if you're already working on something, like you're doing some data entry for a client, sometimes we just don't feel like doing it, right? We always have that tendency to be demotivated. So first of all, before we, and that's a problem. That's a problem because when we feel demotivated, we can't get things done. We can't earn as much money as we want to earn. We can't, you know, apply for the jobs that we need to. So first of all, before we address that problem, let's talk about what motivation is. And motivation, it means that it's that drive that's connected to your mental and emotional state. So if you have the proper mental and emotional state, then you can get things done, right? You know, you feel really motivated, you feel really happy. I'm gonna work out today, I'm gonna do my best job, I'm gonna apply for more jobs, I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna do this really well. And that's what motivation is. But the problem with motivation is that it's fleeting. And what we mean by fleeting is that it goes, you know, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not there. So the question we have to ask ourselves, is how do I keep doing things even though I don't feel motivated, right? How do I, and motivations are connected to our emotions. So how do I separate my emotions from the things I need to do? Okay, so you have to separate the two. Or else if you're relying on your emotions, which is motivation, motivation is very emotional. If you're relying on emotions, half the time you'll want to do things, half the time you won't want to do things. And the answer to that question, the answer to how you can separate your feelings, your emotions from what needs to get done is by something we call discipline. Discipline. So what is discipline? Okay, discipline by itself is it separates the mood, it separates feelings from your ability to perform actions. That's what discipline is. Discipline is just continuously doing something. Because if you want to get something done, you can either get it done with motivation or you can get it done with discipline. And discipline is doing things even though you don't want to do them. Okay, let me repeat that. It's doing things that you know you need to do. Okay, you know you need to do these things. It's doing these things even though you don't want to do them. Right? So just for example, if you're thinking about athletes, a lot of us are watching the NBA playoffs. The Spurs, I'm a Rockets fan, so we lost yesterday, and the Spurs. It's going to be the Spurs versus Golden State Warriors, and on the other side, I don't know. It's going to be the Cavaliers versus either the Washington Wizards or the Boston Celtics. But these athletes, in order to get into top shape, they don't rely on motivation. Because half the time you don't feel like working out. They rely on discipline. They rely on continuing to do things, even though they don't want to do it. And how do you build discipline? Is by repetition. Is by getting, because the thing is, you have to train your brain. You have to train yourself. You have to train your brain to get used to doing things even when you don't want to do them. Right? Because if you think about motivation, right? If you think about motivation, when it comes to creating, like doing data entry or creating a spreadsheet, creating an Excel spreadsheet, in order for you to do your Excel spreadsheet, if you rely on motivation, it's going to be, oh, I'm so excited about this Excel spreadsheet. I'm so excited about sorting these columns and these rows. That's what motivation is. But discipline is, I'm going to do this because I know I have to do it. When you rely on motivation, you're going to start thinking, you know what, I don't like doing this job anymore. Maybe I should quit. And I want to ask you, have you ever encountered this? Have you done this where, you're working in a job and then you don't like it anymore, so you quit. You go to another job, maybe you go to another office. You do it for a couple of months, maybe a few years, and you quit. You think that, I want to eat cake rather than eating vegetables. I can't lose weight. Maybe I'm weak. I must be not a strong person. So you're going to quit. And that's the problem with motivation. Most people think that they need to have motivation to keep going. And yes, motivation is nice. It feels good. It makes us, be happy and, pushes us. But motivation will go away. And it's very evident in gyms, right? In January 1st, we see so many people going to the gym. They're so motivated. They want to lose weight. But after a few weeks, motivation disappears. And this applies to everything in life. When you are applying to jobs and you don't see any results, you're going to lose motivation. Even if you do the same job every day over and over again, even though it'll make you 50,000 or 100,000 pesos a month, you are going to lose motivation. but you could still have to do it. You still have to keep going. And that's why discipline is so important. And I'm telling you this right now. I'm telling you this right now. But a lot of you won't understand it. They're going to think, you might agree with me, but it's different to agree with me, and it's different to actually apply what I'm telling you. And what I'm telling you is that you have to slowly build habits. You have to slowly build habits every single day in order to build discipline, because you have to train your brain. You have to train your brain. You have to train yourself to keep doing things, because on our own, we as human beings are very weak. We're very emotional. That's how we're built. That's how our brains are built. So we have to train ourselves. If you want to keep applying to jobs, even though you don't feel motivated anymore, then apply to one job a day, and that's it. Keep doing it every single day. And I don't know how many of you know Jerry Seinfeld. He's a comedian. He has a show Seinfeld. What he would do is that he would write one joke a day, because he's a comedian. He'd write one joke a day, even though he was demotivated. He would write one joke a day. And what he would do is he'd have a calendar, those calendars with the different days on them, and he would cross out, write an X on a day where he'd write a joke. So when he'd wake up in the morning, he sees the calendar and he sees, okay, I've written jokes on these days. I just have to mark an X on this day for me to do this one thing today and to build this habit. So that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to forget motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It's not sustainable. And what you should be doing is building discipline by building habits. Okay? Start something today. Do something small today, something that you can keep doing every single day, and just get used to it. Train yourself to keep doing it. Even, when you feel demotivated, when you feel like not doing it anymore, remember that you made a promise to yourself that you're going to do this simple thing. It shouldn't be too difficult, but you're going to do this simple thing every single day, whether you like doing it or not, whether it's applying to jobs on Upwork, whether it's learning new things, whether it's taking the time to study different blogs, different courses, and so on, whether it's doing push-ups or going to the gym or going for a run in the morning. Make a promise yourself to just do one simple thing every single day and build that habit. And once you build a habit, you're going to separate the emotion from you being able to accomplish things. And then you're going to be extremely productive. If you look at me, if you look at different people and think that we're successful, we earn a lot of money online, freelancing, and if you think that we are successful, one of the reasons that we are successful is because we keep doing things even though when we don't feel like doing them. And I know some of you out there, have a problem with motivation. I see this because some of you guys have, moved from, you've tried to take one MLM, one networking company, and then you've switched to another networking company. You've enrolled in so many different courses, but sometimes you're taking a course in writing, and then you say, I don't feel like writing. Maybe I should learn web design. And then you learn web design after a few weeks. This is boring. I don't feel like it. Maybe I should learn bookkeeping. I don't feel like it. And that's the problem. The feelings are telling you to stop. But you have to separate the feelings from the actions. So build discipline. Discipline is doing the things that you know you need to do, even though you don't feel like it. All right? So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Okay, and it's a very simple message. It's a very simple answer to the question, how do I stay motivated even though after getting rejected? But it's very important that you should build discipline. And most people, 90% of people can't, or they aren't building discipline. They just rely on motivation to get things done. And that's why after a few weeks, after a few months, they quit trying, and then they just move on to something else. So stop chasing the next shiny object. Stop looking for something that seems nice. You have to keep doing things, even if they're boring, even if they're tiring. You have to build discipline and build habits. Okay, so right now I want to take some time to answer some questions from you guys about, if you want to ask questions about motivation and discipline, if you want to ask questions about freelancing and best practices, or anything in between, please type in the comments below and I'll go ahead and answer your questions. Let me just look at the comments here. And we have a lot of good mornings from Pam, from Anna, from Charm, from Misaki. Good morning, that's a Japanese name. Shirley, good morning. Alex, magandang buhay from Maria Cristina. Good morning, Blaine. Hey, you're from Digos. We're here in Cebu. Aileen, good morning as well. And so once again, just ask your questions below. If there are no questions, then we're gonna end early. But now is your time to ask questions regarding anything about this topic or freelancing. I know a lot of you guys send me personal messages over on Facebook, but I can't answer all of them because I get too many of them. So I like answering questions at the end of the week every Saturday instead. So I'm sorry if I don't answer PMs. I just get so many PMs, like over 100 PMs every day from our Facebook group of almost 70,000 members. So Saturdays are the best time to answer these questions. Good morning, Jimmy. Good morning, Michelle, Rose, Jean, and Elvira from La Union. Ria has a question here. Do you have your own program in building discipline? Well, the thing is, discipline, the concept of discipline is very simple. And I'll give you the program right now for free, okay? I'll give it to you right now. Have a goal in mind. Have your goal in mind, okay? Let's say you want to be healthy, right? And then from that goal, identify one action. One action is, let's say, jogging 30 minutes a day. Identify one action that you can repeat every day. And what you have to do is, like I said, maybe you can have a calendar on your wall. Every day that you go jogging for 30 minutes a day, mark an X on that day. The next day when you wake up, you'll see, okay, I marked X yesterday, I have to do it again today. And just keep doing it. The thing with discipline, the thing with building discipline, it's not so much that the concept is hard to do. It's not a complex concept. It's a very simple concept. You just have to build habits. You just have to repeatedly do things, even though you don't want to do them. The difficulty is in you actually doing them. Okay? It's not in understanding how to do it. It's not in the method, but it's in execution. The idea is so simple, and ideas are nice, but they're useless unless you actually execute, unless you actually do them. So that's my free program on building discipline. It's very simple, but that's what you have to do. Okay, let's see here. Ivy, good morning. Janelle, you're welcome. So I believe this was your question. So you're welcome for that. Jetty is saying, Jet Li, sorry. Oh, Jet Li, I know somebody named Jet Li. Discipline should come from within, and that is right. Well, discipline is more, it's something that's built though. That's something, you can build discipline. Motivation, people have different levels of motivation, but discipline is something that you can build. And you can say, I'm not disciplined, I can't do this. It's not true when you say that. When you tell yourself you're not disciplined, because you can build discipline. You just have to keep going. You just have to keep pushing. That's how you build discipline. So anybody can build discipline. Anybody can be successful. Anybody can seriously make 100,000 pesos a month. But you have to have lots of discipline. And discipline starts by just building those habits every single day. Doing that thing that you don't want to do, even if you're depressed, even if your dog died, when you don't feel like doing it, you're crying the whole day. You say, okay, I'm so sad today, but I have to do this. Even if, God forbid, your husband or your wife leaves you, and that's the worst thing in the world that happens, discipline is still doing what you need to do no matter what happens, no matter how you feel that day. And the only way that you can build that, the only way that you can train your mind and train your body is just by repetition. Okay? So John Bryan is saying SMART goal should do and vision board to make you feel motivated. SMART goals are good because you have something to look forward to and you have a vision board. But once again, John, and these are nice. These help you stay motivated. These are nice. They're flowers and rainbows and butterflies. These are very nice. But even if you have a vision board, because I've done this, I've had the vision board, I've had, nice quotes and nice sayings. But even if you have those, there will be times when it's not enough. That when, it's like, the thing with motivation is like, it's like a fuel tank, right? It's like a fuel tank in your car that you have to keep on filling, You have to read a nice quote. You have to go look for videos to keep you motivated. You have to look at your vision board. But as time goes, and you have to do more and more each time, because you can't look at the same quote every day and stay motivated. You're going to get, oh, I know this quote already. It's not working anymore. You have to look for new things. And you have to keep on refilling the tank. But it gets empty. That's the problem with motivation. There are times when the tank runs empty. You're out of fuel. But discipline is slow. Motivation, it's very fast. You can accelerate. You can go on 6th gear and drive really fast. But it runs out. Discipline is slow. It's slowly, just very slow. It's like the tortoise and the hare, right? It's like that. The tortoise has discipline. He's just walking slowly, steadily, non-stop, not stopping for breaks, not making excuses, even when he doesn't feel like it, even when the hare is, all the way ahead of him and he feels demotivated, and, the tortoise, the turtle, says, oh, I'm going to lose this race, but he doesn't give up. He doesn't care if he's going to lose the race or not. He just keeps going, even though it seems that he's going to lose, even though it seems like he's going to fail. He just keeps going one step at a time. And that's what you should be doing. So you can have all these nice things. I'm not against them. You can have them, but they're going to run out eventually. And that's why discipline is so important. Joseph, good morning, Joseph. Ella is asking this question. If I was hired and I said I can do the task in 2 hours, but did not meet the deadline, will the client still pay me if I finish the job more than the time specified? So regarding this question, Ella, what you have to do is talk to the client. Say, Mr. Client, I promised you 2 hours, but I underestimated the time. It's taking me 4 hours to do it. And they just negotiate with the client. Maybe the client will understand and they'll say, okay, it's okay, don't worry, I'll pay you for the 4 hours. Or maybe they'll say, you know what, you promised 2 hours, I'm only going to pay you for that. So the answer to this question, will the client still pay me? Talk to the client first. Just set their expectations, because that's all that clients need. They just need communication. Okay? And this is great. Been feeling depressed lately. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. And sometimes we feel depressed. We can't help it. We're human beings. Bad things happen. In fact, so many bad things happen every single day. If we watch the news, if I turn on the news right now, I'm going to become depressed, because if I watch TV Patrol, it's so depressing. Just seeing these things, you get angry, you get depressed. But yeah, you have to stay away from things that make you angry and depressed, and just build a discipline. Keep going. You're feeling depressed today, but you have to do something. You have to apply for a job. You have to do the work a client gave you. You have to go to the gym. So just do it. It doesn't matter how you feel. Good morning, newbie here. Hope to learn something new today. Well, today I'm not teaching about freelance skills or anything that specific, but what I'm teaching here is more important than freelance skills, because if you learn skills but you don't have discipline, then you're still going to fail. But if you have discipline, then you will know how to learn skills without even trying. I got distracted by what Marv was saying. Anyway, going up here, Nini, good morning. I love this topic. Thank you, Nini. Nini and Fred. Comment as well in the Work at Home Pinoy's group if you want other topics related to this. Has that happened to you before? And this is Ella's question about, she said that she told the client it would take 2 hours, but it will take her more than that, like 4 hours. Yes, it has happened to me before, where I've had to tell the client, you know what, Mr. Client, to do a great, and what I'd say is that I kind of flower it up a bit and say, to do a really good job, to do a great job, meeting your expectations, it will take me more time. And just apologize, just say sorry. You underestimated the time. It has happened to me before, and most of the time clients understand. In fact, in my experience, all the clients I don't do that often. It's happened only a few times to me where I had to do that. But every client I've said, sorry, I have to take more time, they've always been understanding. They've said, okay, no problem. I want to make sure that the job is done properly, so I'm willing to pay you more. Marv, you should watch. I got distracted by this comment earlier. We watched Jason instead of TV Patrol. No comment. Virgie, thank you for this topic. It really inspired me to keep going. There you go. But build discipline. You shouldn't rely on inspiration. You should build discipline. So what keeps you motivated to do? Okay. It's a question about what keeps me motivated. Aside from the financial benefits, one thing you have to understand about how I work, I'm a lot of people consider me very successful, but how I work is that I look at the things that need to be done and I do them. I don't care how I feel. I don't involve emotions at all. Sometimes I do get sad and kind of depressed and I don't feel like doing things, but what you can do, I guess, sometimes is meditate, take a few breaths, and just separate emotions. Don't think about the emotions. Try as hard as you can. It's hard at first. It'll take time for you to exercise that. But through meditation, you can do that. Separate the emotions. Just be nothing. Be like a robot, and look at your list of things to do and just do them. So that's how I work. Pat. Hi, sir. Good morning. How do you manage to work away from home? Say you're traveling. Paano po yung internet niyo if you're in another country? Thank you much. In most countries, actually, Pat, the internet is much better than what we have here in the Philippines. We have, as a lot of you know, we have horrible internet, one of the worst for a developing country. So if you're traveling, most likely the internet's going to be okay. What I do usually is when I land in another country is I buy a SIM card. And there are a lot of, before I fly to another country, I do research online and look for the best data, like best data plans in these different prepaid providers. And then I already know what to buy. So when I land in a new country, I just buy a SIM card, buy a data plan, enroll in the data plan. And if you don't know how, the people in the airport who are selling the SIMs can just help you out. Enroll in the data plan, and I tether, usually just create a hotspot on my phone, and I use that when I'm traveling. But in most countries, their coffee shops have very fast internet. I was recently in Vietnam, and they have I don't know if you guys remember, I posted when I was in Vietnam, They had like carinderias with 20 Mbps internet, and these are like real carinderias. Okay, so and people were taking out their laptops, in the carinderias and stuff. Um, it was safe. Nobody was really stealing the laptops or anything. But it was very amusing and very shocking that carinderias had 20 Mbps internet, and a lot of the coffee shops had like 50 Mbps internet. So in most cases, you're okay. In most countries, you'll be okay unless you're traveling like to, I don't know, Iraq or Afghanistan or somewhere in Africa. But like in Asia, in everywhere I've been in like Southeast Asia, East Asia, in Europe, in the US, Canada, the internet is very good unless you're going to a very poor country. What's the best discipline to build confidence in taking a job or project online? So both discipline and confidence are related to emotions. Okay, so what you have to do, German's the name here. What you have to do, German, is you have to separate the emotion. You have to be able to do things even though you don't feel like doing them. And you have to train yourself. Same with confidence, Confidence is very emotional. But in order to separate confidence, you have to know what you can do. You have to say, I can do this. And it doesn't matter how you feel. You just know that you can do it. And you can tell other people, you can tell clients that interview you, I can do this. Whether you feel happy about it or not doesn't matter, but you know that you can do it. So the first thing I would work on is just separating emotions from being able to do things. And you can do that by building habits. Building habits and meditation also helps. How do you handle stress? It's very similar, John, to how I handle work. Stress doesn't matter to me. Well, sometimes it does. Sometimes I do feel stressed and overwhelmed, and I have to stop working for a few hours and relax. But in most cases, I separate stress as much from work. So it's just I look at the things I have to do. Nothing else matters. I have to do them. Nothing else matters. How I feel doesn't matter. What happened 5 minutes ago doesn't matter. What will happen 10 minutes from now doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on right now, and right now I have to do this task. That's how I should work. That's how I do work. Paul, good morning. Many lessons learned from you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're super. Thank you. I don't know if I'm super, but I won't complain. Mariam, good morning. And we're finishing up. I'll just answer these last few questions and then I'll wrap this up. Asking how much the best offer as full-time VA. Depends, Roseanne, depends how good you are, depends on your pitch, depends on so many different things. I'd say if you're doing a full-time VA work, you should be earning at least 20,000 pesos a month. I know some people who can do it for like 40 and 50,000 pesos a month, but I'd say at the minimum 20. That's all I'm going to say. But it depends on your skills, it depends on your pitch, it depends on your experience, but minimum 20,000. Theen, I admire your passion in helping people. I've only seen this a few years ago. It would have been easier for me to get into work at home biz. Anyway, the world needs more people like you. May the force be with you. Thank you, Theen. May the force be with you as well. Star Wars, the episode, what's coming out this year? There's another Star Wars movie. Jimmy, we have a blog post about job interviews. We'll just link it below later. You're welcome, Aviv. God bless you as well. Roseanne, you're welcome. Once again, so I'm just going to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for showing up this Saturday morning. Next Saturday, we're going to talk about e-commerce, so that's very exciting. We do have a guest speaker with us because I'm not as active in the e-commerce area, but we do have a guest speaker who's going to talk about e-commerce, what you need to know about e-commerce. Very exciting. Once again, if you're new, please go to this website to learn about working at home and freelancing. Here we go, freevacourse.com. And if you're from Cebu, I hope to see you later. 1 p.m. Coffee Bean, Ayala Center, 4th floor. I'll be there to meet you, and we'll just have coffee and talk. Nothing formal. We have no agenda planned. Just meeting each other, meeting other freelancers and aspiring freelancers. All right, guys. I will see. Oh, on Wednesday. Sorry, Wednesday. I think at 2 p.m. I'm going to be interviewing Charm Dizon. So Charm, I saw you comment here. Charm Dizon, who's a stay-at-home wife and a freelancer. So we'll learn more from her, and I will see you guys next Saturday or on Wednesday when I interview Charm. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend.